Welcome to TechBrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn how to get the list of files or file names from the Azure Blob Storage and load into the SQL table. So here I have, let me show you the file names. So I have this blob storage. If I go to the home here, and then I have this blob storage created. Inside the blob storage, I go to the data storage and then go to containers, and in the containers I have the input container, and then now I have these files sitting there. My goal is to get the name of these files and put into the Azure SQL table. I have already table or actually Azure DB created, and then we are going to create a table here. So let's create a table and then we will create the pipeline. So I'm creating a file name table here, and then creating ID, so we can call it file ID or whatever you want to call it. I'm just calling it ID autodenti 1,1, so it will be 1 2 3 4 and all that. And then I'm saving file name into this column file name, and then load date time as well. So it is a default, so I don't have to use this column. It will be auto populated when we will insert the record. So this is helpful to know what time the record was inserted. Now if I will go ahead and execute this script, it has created the table called the file names. Right now there are no records, but you can see the columns available right there. Okay, now let's go to the pipelines and create the pipeline. Here is the Azure Data Factory, and in Azure Data Factory you're gonna go right click, actually click right there, add a new resource, and then pipeline, and from there we are gonna create the pipeline. Now name is fine, whatever you want to say, pipeline load file name. Okay, now that's done, and we will use get metadata activity. What this activity will do, it will get the list of those files from the blob storage. So leave everything as is, no problem. Go to settings here, and then we are going to create a data set. So once we click right here, you have to tell from where you want to read that. So in our case, Azure Blob Storage, click continue, then select the file types, the CSV files, fine. And here it is telling you name of that data set. I'm going to call it ds read files. Okay, now it is asking link service. So in the link service, you can create new one or you can use the old one. So I just want to create a new one, so you would know how exactly to create the link service. So right here you have Azure Blob Storage 5. I can call it LK Tech Brothers. So this is the blob storage. Okay, so I don't know if it does allow you underscore, but we'll see. Anyways, we are gonna go ahead and select the subscription Tech Brothers, and then we are selecting the blob storage. So Tech Brothers storage, that's what we have here, and then we can test, and it should be just fine, and it's completed successfully, and we created it. And it might give us error. No, good, it took the underscore. Now here you can provide the container, or actually you can use this browse button and select the container from there. If you need to work on specific file, you can give one file name, but in my case I'm working on the entire files, so I'm not given anything here in the file name and all that. I just have the input container, and that's it, no problem. Now our data set is created and is pointing to the input container. Now what's going to happen, we have to get the click here and say field list, and I just click right there, and what type of items we want. We want child items, so we want to get every item that is available in that container. There are other things available, you can use that as well, but right now let's go with the child items. Okay, now once we have the child items, we have to insert them into the table. As we have selected the child items, it's a kind of list, so we have to use some loop to get each one from there. So I'm going to use for each loop here. So bring the for each loop here, connect your metadata activity to the for each, then click on the for each, then go to settings here, and then we want to do sequential. We can do all in one chunk as well. So if you want to load one at a time, you can do sequential, but it will loop through, so that's a little slow, but you are not doing a whole lot files here, but you can also do just don't do sequential, and it will take care of the others. Here in the items, if you remember that we have child items, and here I'm going to click add dynamic content. Now if I go here and the activity name is called Get Metadata activity, so that's my activity right there. Okay, so if I will click right there, it is saying check in the Get Metadata activity dot output, and then what I want to do, I want to get a value for that. So that should no, actually hold on one second. So if I will go get metadata child items, list of subfolder and file in the given folder. Sorry, I kind of just jump quickly like, hey, let me get this one. No, actually I have to get the this list of the subfolders and files in the given folder. So that's what I want to use. So now it will be get metadata activity one output dot child items. So now I have the child items here, and inside the child items now each item has to be written to the table, right? So I'm going to click right here, and I can search for script, and then you use script here. Once I have script here, I can click right there and configure from here. So I'm going to go to settings, and here I will create a link service to the Azure SQL database. So I'm going to go here, and I have Azure SQL DB here. I'm going to continue, and then it's going to ask me my subscription, my server name, my database name, TechDB, and then authentication SQL, and my account is SQL admin, and I'm going to provide the password that I have used. Okay, and let's test connection, all good, and let's create our link service. So it's called Azure SQL DB2. After we have created a link service, then what we are going to do, we are going to go ahead and write the query for our script task or script activity. Here we will use add dynamic content, and then we will be using the item from there. So for each loop item, and then what we want to do, we want to use the name from that item. So that's what we want to use, but how we use it in the insert query, because we want to insert this value into the table. So what expression will be written? So first of all, let me take this down a little bit. So show you, we'll say insert into our table file name table, right? So let me see what okay, file names, that's our table name. And here what we are going to do, this is our table, and then a column name, file name, and then we say values, right? So that's what we do in SQL, and then use a small parenthesis around, and then guess what, we have to add a curly parenthesis here like this around this value. Okay, I'm gonna delete this, and you will be having one parenthesis here, and put single quote outside this value right there. Okay, so that's what or how it will be look like. So you don't need this single quote. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. It's going to take the value from item.name and then put into the file name column. If you want me to show you, I can simply take here and show you the expression. So you see it now better, like how exactly this will look. So this is how it will look. Insert into the table name, then column name, values, then you have small parentheses, single quote at the rate item, and close, and get the property name from there, and then insert. So that's what we are going to insert. Let's go and execute this pipeline and see if it works. So now we are going to go ahead and debug. Okay, our metadata activity is completed with success. It has file names, you see right there, and it has all those file names right there. Now we did not see what happened with the for each loop. Is first I like, man, it's not working, but it's working. So when we just refresh, it shows the for each loop, and it tells us like how many items we have. 5 items. That's the metadata activity also tells you like these are the 5 items we have right there, right? Now it went inside the script task, and then script task is running, and inside the script this is so it is insert into file name equal to values, and then that's the value it become available. And if I go back to my table and select the data from that table, I'm seeing the file names right there. Okay, so it is inserting file name into the file names table, and then this is just the load time that I just it is a default value. Every time it's gonna create a record, it's gonna load that, and also the ID is the auto identity, so it will be automatically increment each time a new file name will be loaded. So now 4 are done, and then fifth will be done. So just remember that this is the script you need to add to the script as to insert the value. Just so we have single quotes around, then what you have inside, just make sure you have it in the correct way. I thank you very much for watching my video. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in next video.